Yes, hi everyone. My name is Steven Sewalu Mukasa. Welcome back to this channel. I have some news for you. I wanted to share it before, but I couldn't. But I'm not allowed to share as much, so I'm just going to share the basic one. Those who follow me on LinkedIn know that I'm no longer working with Uniscale. So in the meantime, I'm going to just be giving you guys some content. Yeah, so unfortunately I'm not working with Uniscale anymore. Yes, if you're curious, we didn't leave on any bad terms. It was actually okay, it was consensual, so that's okay. Yeah, and I had and you guys were demanding me for the UI video that was left. So what I'm going to do to honor that, I'm going to share that for using Uniscale, and then I guess those two videos, I'm going to break them down into two videos. Those two videos will be the last I'm doing on Uniscale, and go on to other content and some better projects I'm very excited for. So yeah, so off to part one of using Uniscale to create a front end in Vue. Yeah, see you there. So we're going to begin building the UI using Vue. So the first thing is I'm going to try to make this fast by getting Vite installed using Vue. Sorry for the background noise. I'm at home. So yeah, we named the project Petty Cache App Vue, and yeah, and then run through the options. Vue, Typescript, have that application down. Nice, and we then cd into the project, install. That's going to take a bit of time. As that's happening, I can tell you this is already, I'd already done this work before, so what I'm doing is just providing commentary on it. The reason I did it before is so that I can build it much quicker, so that I can have time to make this video much shorter. Otherwise, if I commented as I'm building, it would have taken about an hour and a half, and that's not time people like paying attention to. So yeah, that is why I did that. So anyway, hope the commentary kind of puts things into perspective. Yes, so as that is happening, let's give it a second. Should be done in a moment. It's installing every dependency for now to have the application ready. After that application is done, we shall install the Uniscale into this. It's done. So the next thing I do here is go into Uniscale instructions, just have the repository, put that in, then install the actual dependency, the SDK. That should go much faster than the previous installation. Done. Then up to this point, we get in Tailwind CSS. Yes, get those in. The first command is for installing Tailwind post CSS and auto prefixer. The second one is to instantiate it and create a Tailwind config file. That is what npx Tailwind CSS init does. So that comes in. Done. At this point, I'm going to open an IDE. I'll be using both VS Code and PHP Storm. I like working in PHP Storm mostly, but the plugin for Uniscale, the plugin from Uniscale works better with VS Code. The PHP Storm one is a bit outdated. So for Uniscale related things, I'll use VS Code, but for the actual project building, I'll be using PHP Storm. So yes, so that's what I'm going to try and do now. So let me get PHP Storm up first at this point. There we go. PHP Storm is up. Expand that. Also, I'm a fan of a darker theme, but yeah, this is the project we're going to be dealing with. You can see the package.json at this point. You can see the Uniscale SDK is right there, and the other stuff comes in. Yeah, as I said, I like a darker theme, so switching that at this point. Darker theme, much better. It's also good for the eyes. Yes. Yeah. So what's happening next? Yes, at this point I'm going to set up Tailwind first. So I'm going to go into Tailwind config right here. Replace these contents. If you want instructions on this, you can find it on the Tailwind CSS website. Then at this point I'm going to set up the remove things I don't need, because ones come with installing Vite for the first time. So remove components, remove assets, delete, should be down here. Yep. So once that is removed, I'm going to go to the CSS file, remove all this styling and replace it with the Tailwind ones. At this point I'll go to the main. At this point, oh yes, let's look at this. Okay, this has a lot of things we also don't need. This does the hello world from view, so remove all that as well. We're going to replace all this with maybe just a simple div element. Maybe it's something along the lines of, okay, I'll remove also this, we don't need that as well. Yep, write a simple message like welcome, and then let's try and run this. Let's see, everything seems right. Yep, we're going to run the app to just see our welcome message. Nice. Let's open a browser, new tab, welcome. Nice, we have our application ready. Now at this point, let's begin setting up our Uniscale. This is where I may open up VS Code to try and get the Uniscale bits as well. One thing to note, the SDK for TypeScript is the same for also the Node stuff. Vue likes working very well with for arrow functions rather than classes, so we shall have to adjust the stuff that comes in from the plugin, the Uniscale plugin, to match Vue. So I'm going to show you both, but I'm sure if you watch the previous video you'll see the class approach using classes. Sorry again for the background noise. I'm home, I have a kid around, so and very soon I'll be possibly buying myself a mic. Maybe it can help with cancelling out some of that noise. So let's open VS Code, guys. There we go, same project. Let's go to the newly created folder, which I believe was called configs. Let me show you the Uniscale. This is the Uniscale plugin I was mentioning about. I already have it installed. So let's just go straight to configs. And then we initiate the dispatch, the Uniscale plugin at this point. Pull in the session. There we go. You can see it already. It gets the platform session straight from the petty cache management. This is it. That was a simple example of how you would use it. But in our case, we're going to have to create our own. We're going to export this dispatcher, and this dispatcher is what we shall be using everywhere where we need to implement Uniscale in the front end. So what we do here, we're going to create the petty cache file or class where the petty cache endpoints go. So there we go. I'm going to pull in the snippets and generative code from the plugin. I'm going to put in handlers with specification, bam, that should automatically, I have to choose between yes, get all of them. Now you can see it has created the class. This class is very similar to what you saw previously in the Express application. So you can see I'm going back in here so that you guys see. As I said, I prefer working this side, but you can see the class is there with everything. It comes being called interceptor handler. We shall rename that to petty cache name as a service, and then the instructions are there on what to do. You can see new transaction, tells you what to put in there. Get transaction handler, you see it takes in a date range. This is the interceptor where you set it up, and a bunch of other things. We're going to change most of these to work for front end, but it's going to be exactly the same. I already came up with the implementation of these methods within these functions, but you can do your own thing if you did your own thing. So I'm going to just remove this and replace it with the function one I created. You can see now this is a let me remove these ones I don't need. These imports, I'm not using them. Remove that one as well. So as you can see, this is now a class. I've turned this service into a class type. So I added an email database that has all our transactions. The setup is exactly the same, but with a few changes. And then these methods, I didn't change much. It's exactly the same. So you can even remove the comments, and if you still want the comments coming in, you can do the same. Let me show you very quickly. So let me remove this. For example, if you find this cloggy, you can always move it. But if you want the specification back for that, and you forgot how it works, you just come through the plugin, get the endpoint specification for this endpoint, get transactions, and it comes back right down there. So you can read it and you know what you're supposed to do. So yeah, but I'd already written down some simple code at this point to do that for me. So I'm just going to set it up and get petty cache to come in through here. So I'm just going to call in, I exported petty cache to the other side, so just put it in here and then set it up from down here. Exactly, pass in the platform interceptor builder, set up, and pass in the I. There we go, and that's all you need to set it up, and we're done setting up everything. After this is now from here we can just use the actual thing. So yeah, you can see down here I return the setup at this point from that function. What else? What am I missing? Yeah, I think that's about it as far as setting up Uniscale. That's all you need to set up Uniscale on the front end. It doesn't matter which UI you're dealing with, whether React, Angular, that's all you need. And then you just use it in your components. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to be importing and getting an NPM view router. We're going to create 2 pages, one for which will hold the form and one for our statements. So I'm going to use routing for that. I'm going to quickly set up a router and have that done. So just create a directory, call it pages. I'm going to create my 2 pages. The first one, it's going to call it statement. This will have the statement by date range, and this one is going to be the transaction form. So for the transaction form, let's set up the route at this point. Router, and then we're going to begin quickly setting up the router. I'm going to do this very quick and paste in the routes. Let me just explain what this is essentially. As I said, I've already done this before. These are the routes. Home will go to the form, and the statement will go to the statement, and then configure the routes, export that. We're going to import it and add it to our application here. I have autocomplete because I have some AI stuff happening in here, like not AI, it's more like suggestive completion. So yeah, that is all we need, and we have the router plugged in. So at this point I am going to go straight and jump into setting up some of our pages. So so this one is going to become I'm going to copy paste the initial code I need for the basic layout here, and I'll explain what that does just to cut down on time. Done. So let me just explain what this is. It's just my page. I begin. I'm pulling all these. So this stuff works nice. So basically, what we're going to do at this point is explain what this is. So this is going to be I jumped straight into setting up each. So let's just write something to define these pages. So this is the form. So I'm just going to write here transaction form. Okay, so so this is the page, so I can move between them. Simple. So what do we do next? I think at this point we're going to just begin setting up what each page is supposed to do as first functionality, and then we shall do the UI elements probably in the next video. But this page, essentially what I was doing at this point, set up the UI, set up the routes on the side, then the router views, where it's what defines these pages here, where there will be where those components are going to be placed in, is where the router views is done from. So so I think let's begin and set up these pages and just utilize the basic structure for everything that we shall use for the next video. And the functionality, I think we can also add that in here. I think I have maybe like 4 minutes to do that, or 3. So I think I can pull this off within the 3 minutes, and we set that up very quickly. So let's begin with this page. I'm going to come and quickly define what I want, and as I'm using Tailwind, I'm just going to make this flex core, so that makes sure that things are going downwards. I give them a gap of 2 for each element in this class that is going down. The first one is going to be I'm going to set up my white, so I'm going to give it a padding of 3, this element, and then place in my heading. So I'm just going to quickly give this heading a font bold and uppercase. This is going to be input transaction, and then what I'll do here, I'll create a border here. So just going div, nope, that's not how I wanted it. Div, like that, and then let's make this a border cutting across. So for width, so it cuts across, so it looks like an actual card, and then down here is where the body will be for the actual form. So put their class, give it a minimum height so that you can actually see. Let me give it minimum height of 40. Also, I'm going to do flex call, so there are columns going downwards, gap of 2, a padding of 3, so it's similar to the heading. And then I think we shall use the same outlook for statement as well. So I'm just going to write something in here and just say main content, because nope, that's not the suggestiveness I want for now. Nope, that does not look right. Let me just say main content here. and then I'll just copy this whole thing, throw it in statement, and replace this with the word statement. And we shall call this a night. You see now it looks right there, looks nice. Yeah, we're stopping here today. Thank you very much. Hi everyone, hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget, subscribe, like, all that, comment, ask questions in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer them. Yeah, have a good one.